Huge IQ, great performance in the Marines, but you gave up. Drugs, petty crime. Never had a job.
Who are you?
Your father saved my life.
Dean says you're fair game. Boys.
I've had a rather emotional day, so whatever your beef with Eggsy is, and I'm sure it's well-founded, I'd appreciate it if you could just leave us in peace.
You should get out of the way, Granddaddy. You'll get hurt.
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, Matt Atchity, Alonzo Duralde, Christy Lemire, the interesting but puzzling at times Kingsman, Alonzo.
Okay, so Colin Firth is a spy with a sort of secret, off-the-books, maybe not even governmental secret agency, and there is a new opening. So he recommends the son of a fallen comrade to take that place. We follow this guy through his training, and of course, there's a bad guy who wants to rule the world, don't they all? Take a look.
Manners maketh man. Do you know what that means? Then let me teach you a lesson. Are we going to stand around here all day, or are we going to fight? Sorry about that. Needed to let off a little steam. What do you see? I see potential. Kingsman is an international intelligence agency operating at the highest level of discretion. If you're prepared to adapt, you can transform.
Into a spy.
Interested?
Oh, yes.
If you get blood on the carpet, you have to take the carpet up.
Can't stand the sight of blood.
To everyone who said I never make it.
Felt sorry for the boy, did you?
Lord, weren't you mistaken?
He's as much Kingsman material as any of them. More so.
You know, I have to say, you said new opening. I thought, are we back to 50 Shades of Grey?
Whoa!
But then we were walking out of this movie, we were talking about how it's fun until it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a, and it's not so much fun until it isn't. It's not fun for an hour and then not fun for the second hour. It's fun. Oh, I didn't like that scene. And then fun, and then, oh wait, I really didn't like that scene. I'm going to spoil one thing. There's a church massacre that I hated.
Yeah, it took me right out.
Hated. I think it's wrong. I don't think it belongs in the movie. I think supposed to be a cartoonish comic book quality
They
to
play Freebird over
right.
it.
And I don't think it is. And I don't know, maybe it's the nature of the fact that we've, had school shootings and church shootings in America.
And they even make it a point that it's one of those like sort of Westboro style churches where they're
you're
super
supposed to
bigoted and
hate.
awful. And I felt bad for those people.
I felt bad for
They
those
didn't
people
deserve to
too.
die the way they
And not in a fun way. Like, I get it, movies can show massacres. I don't ban that.
But this is a hootenanny massacre.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Really,
those people deserve to die.
The movie thinks they did,
right,
though.
the movie
That's
thinks
the
they
problem.
did, and that's the problem. And so I really hated that, and it took me. Not only did I hate that scene, it then took me a while to recover from that scene.
I never got back after that scene.
And they explain that scene afterwards. And I think perhaps if we'd had the explanation before, it would have helped put that in some.
No, because I knew what was happening. I could tell from the plot what was happening, and it was. So I mean, the thing is, this movie starts out super stylishly, clearly like director Matthew Vaughn, who did X-Men First Class,
And did a lot of work with Guy Ritchie.
and did a lot of Guy Ritchie. Yeah, and he's like layer cake, right? Yeah,
so great.
clearly loves like old school James Bond and kind of old school The Avengers, not the movie franchise, the TV show. So it's all about the tailored suits and the secret compartments and the umbrellas that do everything, and that's kind of fun and it's slick and it's glossy and it's very precise and well done. And then it just gets really ugly and I remember just sitting there thinking, am I a total fuddy-duddy or is this actually reprehensible? And okay, I'm not a fuddy-duddy, but there's some actual reprehensible shit in this movie.
Well, it's tough because I think that the church scene is intended to show like the potential depth of this villain's depravity. Like it's a snapshot of what would happen if his plan goes into effect.
Sure,
but it goes on
presented
way too long.
And presented in a way that we're supposed to be enjoying.
Right, no, it's not fun. Also, we should say Matthew Vaughn directed Kick-Ass, which is also from a Mark Millar graphic novel, which is what this is. So this is the same vein in a lot of ways.
Well, and I think you have to really look at Mark Millar, right? Mark Millar's work, Wanted too. Wanted as a movie is much lighter than Wanted the graphic novel is. Mark Millar is a dark, I don't know what it is about.
It's Miller?
I thought it was Miller.
I don't know.
Mark Millar, Grant Morrison, there's this cabal of Scottish comic book writers, and they have their really dark elements. Mark Millar's the darkest of them. Like, he is there is a darkness and anger subtextually to his writing that I think you don't see in a lot of other places, and I think it comes through in the movie. So you see that in Kick-Ass. You see shades of it in Wanted. The Wanted book is much, much darker and bleaker, and I think it's here. And this is a movie that kind of has a shocking amount of exploding heads.
Including of actual world leaders.
Yeah,
but I thought that was handled in the proper cartoonish fashion that made it moderately acceptable, even totally acceptable. I didn't think it was great because I don't care about that stuff, but that was in stark contrast to the other deaths. And then they fail, and then they literally pull punches, because then there's a bunch of violence happening around the world, and whereas we'd seen this horrible bloodshed in the church scene, then later all we get is people punching each other.
Yeah, no one actually
dies in that, which is, or we assume they do, but we don't see it.
Oh my God! And the punchline of this movie is so creepily sexist. It's just like, really? This is your big ha-ha finale?
I don't mind that ha-ha, except, it comes out. It didn't come out of left field. It comes out from the parking lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not funny. It wasn't offended by it, but it's not that funny.
But it's like, it's one thing when James Bond,
Seduces.
beds the lady at the very end because she's been the girl and she's been involved in the movie. This is just this random thing of someone coming out of this sort of circumstances of duress, and suddenly it's like, no, let's fuck in the ass. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah,
and it's really shoehorned. Really, they like to get it in to get the laugh. So I don't know. But that said, I kept coming back. You didn't come back. I came back because it looks great. It's really pretty. And it is fun at parts. And Colin Firth is terrific. And Michael Caine is terrific. And
Mark Strong.
And Mark Strong is the best. He's fantastic.
Samuel L. Jackson's very funny. You can just bad list.
The woman, I don't know the actress's name, but she's sort of a cross between Odd Job and Pretorius and the breakdancing stand-in for Jennifer Beals in Flashdance. That's a cool villainess.
What's his name? Taron Egerton.
Yeah, he's a Welsh actor.
He's really the star, and he sort of is Michael Caine's protege. And I thought
Colin Firth's protege.
Sorry, Colin Firth's protege. That's what I meant. And I thought he's standing up there with these really, really talented British actors, and he was good.
Yeah.
I never thought Colin Firth was sexy or attractive until this. Watching him kind of kick ass in his tailored suit, it's a whole new side of him.
Colin Firth's first fight scene in the bar, wonderful. And the second one in the church is, oh my God, what am I watching?
Okay, so what are your numbers then?
I think I gave it a 6.8. I overall came around to like it, but if that church scene weren't in there, I could be at an 8 on this movie.
Yeah, 6.5. I will admit, I went into this thinking that this is like some teen spy movie. This is an R-rated movie. I was only half paying attention to the promos.
I gave it a 4. I was into it at first, and I like a lot of the sort of slickness to it, but then it just left a really bad taste in my mouth.
I give it a 6, so our average is a 5.8. Where is it?
75% on the tomato meter right now.
It's a super hard R.
Be very interested to see.
So if you have no morals, you'll like this.
I'm surprised I didn't like it more.
Bye.